This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
What's going on?
Hello and welcome back to an all-new Zompire Horde podcast where I, your host, and my good pals Michelle the Dead and Patty Sawyer go live and we talk about cool horror and macabre stuff. This week we have a very special guest, and if you can't tell by my family reunion shirt, I think he's sitting right over there. We got John Dugan from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There you go.
Let me see if I can do this.
The cowbell
I got the
is here.
cowbell this time.
I just watched the Tournament of Roses parade for a while today, and all the women on the queen and all her court, they had this real special, exactly the same wave today.
Oh yeah, the little
the pageant
little.
wave.
That was
where
it.
do you put your
Michelle
thumb?
has it. Michelle has it. That was it.
The Zompire Queen.
But they did it at the same time.
Yeah,
They were all coordinated, and that kind of freaked me out.
the pageant wave.
So.
The pageant wave. That's
And then-
creepy.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
like,
You got
"Hi!"
Vlad has it. Vlad has it too. Everybody has it. Yeah, I'd be like jumping up and down, waggling my pecker at everybody. Yeah.
So anyway,
45 seconds into the show, and we're already talking about dicks. Excellent.
I'm sorry. I do. I talked about way too much about private
You've earned
parts,
it.
whether it's
Quite
male
alright.
or female. And
you're the special guest. So
Wieners
Sorry
over
about
here.
that.
Wieners over there. Wieners
we're all here
everywhere.
we're all here to listen to you. So.
Oh no, my
fuck.
ears are
Are
bleeding.
you still there? I did something wrong. Can you see me?
Yeah, you're
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I can't see you.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's
We're
right. I'm
Oh,
ugly.
there you
You
are. There you go. I got you.
So anyone who doesn't know, John Dugan played Grandpa in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You played what? A orderly, I believe. What was it in Texas? The Next Generation. Were you were a police officer in that one?
No, I played the cop. I
That's
had that wonderful, award-winning scene with Renee Zellweger.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Talking to her, it was like, and the famous lines I had were, "Miss, Miss, are you all right, Miss, Miss?" And then I pause, and then Marilyn Burns is wheeled on a gurney past us, and Paul Partain is pushing it. He's the orderly, and Marilyn is the woman who is silent, just wheels us by, and she looks at all this. And so it was a little shout out to the first one, because of course Marilyn was pushing Paul in the first one in a wheelchair. It's like Paul Partain. Bear down and push. Sally, bear down. I am Franklin. Bear down and push. Oh God, I love that guy. And so he became the person pushing her in the thing. And that was the last time I saw Paul was there before he passed away.
Yeah.
And damn it. But he was the first guy I met on the set. He and I were good friends.
And then it was in Texas 3D. You actually reprised your role as Grandpa. Isn't that right?
Papa Soya.
Oh yeah, I did 2013.
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah. Is that when
we
that
shot
was
it in
filmed?
2012, I think, and I don't know.
Came out a little bit
2011.
later.
Anyway, it came out the first week in January in 2013, and for 1 week, we were the biggest box office smash of the year.
Yeah.
The number one film of the year for 1
yeah.
week. And then, of course, the holidays over, everybody. The thing is, there are always horror films, particularly sequels,
Right.
or remakes and stuff like that. Horror film fans are really, they're addicted. They're like addicts. They have to see fucking all of it, and they have to see it the day it comes out. You know what I mean?
I will second that.
So they can be the first one. You know what I mean about them? They're just so, and that's where the word fan comes. I guess fanatic. You know, they're just fanatical about it. And so, horror film remakes or sequels are very front loaded. Their first week, they make a fucking fortune because all the hardcore horror fans got to be there. They got to be the first ones to see it, and then and then it really drops off drastically before you know it goes to video or streaming. You know,
Right.
Especially with the Chainsaw series, like the Chainsaw fanatics are even. I think they're even more fanatic than other horror movie fans. Like,
absolutely.
The Chainsaw movies, they'll go to the theater like 2 or 3 times to see it before it leaves. They're like, going on opening day, going the next weekend.
For one, no, they have really good taste. Is the thing.
That's right.
Right.
You know. Yeah, most of them really just come to see me. You know, but boy, that guy plays Grandpa. Woohoo! Look at him go. Look at him suck that finger. He's sucking that finger. Look at him suck that finger.
He's the best finger sucker on the East Coast.
Oh man. Good stuff.
So what's going on with you guys? Enough about me. What's going on with you guys?
Well, go ahead.
Cream soda, everybody? I am addicted to cream soda.
I'm a
cream soda and root beer. That's what I drink.
I'm a diet cherry.
Oh, me too.
Guy. Yeah.
I'm a cream soda and root beer guy.
Yeah.
I always have been. My grandmother, who was from Ireland, you know, the only when I have, and she was all my family from Ireland. When I was a kid, they're kind of scary. They talk funny and stuff, you know. And my grandmother was about 4 feet tall and scary as a fuck. And it was any time my old man had to drop me off at my grandma's house, I was like, "Oh, when are you coming back, Pop?" You know? But she was very sweet, very, very sweet. But she kind of frightened me, you know. Am I getting sideways and shit?
It's the sweet ones you got to watch out for.
Where was I? Oh, and so the only kind of soda pop she had at her house was cream soda. And there was a case of it on the back porch, a wooden case, the kind that you'd return a case of empties in this wooden case with handles on the side of it, you know. I'm talking the middle 1950s, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's really the only kind of soda pop she had. And I just got addicted to it. And I realized years later it's because her grandkids liked it, and it mixed really well with Irish whiskey. So it was like a double purpose. You know, she was like, what do you call it? Multi-tasking.
Getting a little sugar with a little bit
for the grandkids, pour a little whiskey in hers, and go forward.
Honestly.
Well,
and she put, here's the other thing. She put butter on any sandwich you wanted. There was always about a half an inch of butter on one slice of it, you know. Ham sandwich, half butter, half ham. But then when I was out fucking around her backyard one afternoon, doing something, and she hollered at me, you know, Johnny, you need to have something to eat, you know. I'm like, oh, what, Grandma? She goes, what do you want? I said, Johnny, how about a peanut butter sandwich? So, all right. So I run in there, and she has 2 slices of bread out. She smears peanut butter on one side and butter the exact same thickness on the other side. I said, Grandma, butter on a peanut butter. No, you got to hear the punchline this. I say, Grandma, butter on a peanut butter sandwich? She goes, in a sort of conspiratorial way, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like someone's listening, and she goes, "That way it won't stick to the roof of your mouth." Oh, God bless her.
Oh,
That's,
That was a long time
that's
ago,
really
guys.
awesome.
Thanks for the memory, by the way.
yeah. Thanks for sharing it.
And that's my story about
Facebook user
cream soda.
Well, Facebook user who sometimes our guests come or our fans come up as Facebook user, they thought your Michelob was your favorite drink. So at some point, were you a big Michelob guy?
No, God, no. I would never drink anything. Anheuser-Busch pretty much ruined the brewing industry in this country for many, many years. It's starting to make a comeback. I've never drank fucking Michelob.
How
You hear
dare
that?
you accuse
You
me
hear
of
that,
drinking
Facebook
Michelob?
user? Fuck you. He never liked Michelob,
No.
you asshole.
Whoever you are,
Whoever Facebook
show
user
your
is.
face, Facebook
It's
user.
like one of our moms or something.
I think whoever that is probably knows me and did that to get a rise out of me. I think.
Ah.
like good show business, Let's get him pissed off.
they drop you a line because they know what's going to be reactionary.
About to start a riot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So John,
What's up, Michelle? How you doing there, Michelle? How you doing there, girl?
Oh, good. I just got off work.
Yeah. Nice. Wait, I just want to make sure you're still alive over there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Michelle, why don't you show John your cool throne?
Oh, my throne?
Yeah.
Well,
let's see your throne.
Well, look at my beautiful throne. Look.
look at it. Look at it.
Don't look away.
Wow.
Don't spill any Michelob on it, John.
Don't spill Michelob on it.
And there's my cat.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. My dog, no, here's my cat. Wait a minute.
Kitty!
Kitty.
He looked right
Kitty,
That's
kitty,
Moon Pie, or as I call him, Stretch. He's the world's longest cat. I was in LA doing a film, Rock, Paper, Scissors, directed by Tom Holland, written by Victor Miller, who wrote Friday the 13th. Anyway, so I was in LA doing that, and I made my, after we wrapped for the day, call to my wife, and we were talking. She goes, I think we have a new cat. I was like, what? We already had 2 cats and a dog. And, what? Well, this little kitty just wandered up. I was like, oh, okay. And he just sort of adopted us, And he's our in and out cat, and our other cat's inside only. But he's a fucking trip. He's a trip.
I have 2 cats, and one of them's a Maine Coon, and I'm always afraid he's gonna beat me up. I'm not so much worried about him scratching me, but he's got like muscles, and it's kind of terrifying.
Kangaroo?
Oh yeah, I have a big one of my cats. One of my males is like part Maine Coon or something. He's fucking huge.
Yeah,
and he's so gentle. He will actually kiss me on the mouth while I'm asleep to tell me to scratch his head. I'll open my eyes and he's got his face. He's looking at me. He kisses my mouth to tell him he wants me to scratch him a little bit.
Yeah, what's that old Stephen King movie?
Then he's going to knock you out with that muscle.
Your soul, man.
What's that old Stephen King movie where the cat was sucking the soul out of the guy?
What is that? Cat Eye or
Cat's Eye? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one with the cats.
Man, do you guys remember Cat People? It was like way.
Oh,
like
Cat People.
Remember the Cat People?
Cat People with Lynn Lowry and what's her name? Natalie Natasha
Leon.
I think I was
damn it, Natasha.
Leon is too young.
I think I was like in 6th grade when that came out.
Cat People. No, Natasha. Lynn Lowry, who's a friend of mine, by the way. You need to get her on, man.
I've spoken to Lynn
no
before.
Shit, lad.
Yeah, I should.
Oh, you have?
I've spoken to her, but it was a long time ago. Remember, I had you do the autographs for the mystery box. I spoke to her about the same sort of deal, and I think it just kind of fell through. I think she had something going on at the time, and so we were going to wait, and then it just never kind of
but
transpired.
she's a fearless self-promoter.
Yeah.
Just catch her at the right time.
Yeah,
She'll be there.
I'll be sure to message her after this and see if I can't reconnect with her, because that would be a really cool person to have on.
Yeah, and I swear to God, she was in Cat People, and shit, what's her name? Her father's a famous Eastern European actor, and he's her daughter. God damn it, Kinski, Natasha Kinski,
Oh,
Claude
yeah,
Kinski's daughter.
Yeah.
She's in there. Yeah, and I don't know, she must have quit acting, but she was pretty active when she was, in her like early 20s and stuff like that.
Yeah. One of the things I've always kind of wanted to ask you is, obviously I was born in 77, so I wasn't around for 74. I know the summer in Texas can be quite sweltering and disgusting. What was it like on set after weeks of rotten flesh and bone and meat and behind those sweaty masks?
Believe it or not, Vladimir, this is probably the most common question I get.
I would imagine.
How awful was it? And it was terrible. I mean, it was fucking terrible. And but we were all very young,
right?
And I was 20. I was the youngest playing the oldest. I was the youngest cast member by about a year or two.
13-year-old.
And then we went kind of up, and let's see, cast wise. Gun, excuse me, I got a little full here. I have to unbutton my vest. Get a little like, ooh, my nipple. So let's see. I was 20, and Gunn was 27. And then there was Jim Seadow, who was in his early to middle 40s, probably. And we referred to him as the old man. And I'm like 26 years older than he was now. But he just seemed so old, because we were so young. And what a marvelous actor, And so
really?
I'm probably, this shaky cam is probably driving me nuts, but I'm on a cell phone on that porch. So,
you're all right.
Which you can find me pretty much every day if the weather's nice. But hey, how do you like these glasses?
I
like
love
them.
those.
I was going to say,
that's
I got a story about them. But I do have a story about these glasses. But what was I just talking about?
How disgusting filming was.
I have to apologize. I have a bit of a gummy habit. So
you and me both, brother.
Where were we?
We were talking about how gross it was to film in 1974 in Texas.
Oh shit, it was fucking disgusting. But but we were young and enthusiastic, and we were all making, except for a couple of us, making our first movie.
Right.
And good deal. Several of us were from a theater background, had never done a film before.
Right.
I'd done a couple of training. I'd done a couple of stuff. I'd done a short student film with the Art Institute of Chicago for somebody's thesis, and I had done a couple of training films for an insurance company, which paid rather well. And it was all shot on video and everything, but it wasn't like a film, And so a good deal of us were just from the theater. So we weren't really hip to what was going on, but I wanted to learn, and we all wanted to, everybody, even though, some young actor says, no, I'll stay in the theater. It's pure. This is blah, 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 blah. Everybody wants to be in a movie.
Right.
particularly actors, males, all want to be in a cowboy movie so you can dress up and ride horses and shit. Any young male actor, what his dream is to be in a fucking cowboy movie, preferably an Italian one, which is real gritty,
Right.
But and hopefully, maybe you get a cameo by Clint Eastwood or something. He's like crawling across the desert, just withered up like a fucking raisin, still making goddamn, And of course, he never said anything anyway, so he'd be like, he's like this big raisin person. Clint Eastwood, and he'd still like be working in the business. It would be so cool. Did I get carried away there?
No, you didn't.
Where were we? Oh, yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah.
It was really stinky.
No, but I was in. Oh, I was very enthusiastic about it. I would never. I couldn't do it now. I couldn't physically. I don't think I could have. I couldn't have done it because we had no air conditioned trailers. There was no respite from the heat. Right. There was one that was like a little half-ass Winnebago-y looking thing, but not that nice. That had a window unit. They're kind of like, and they would let me in there and Gunner and Marilyn to try to cool off. Everybody else just had a fucking supper, but it didn't do anything because Gunner and I had to keep all that, latex on forever, like until we were done for the day. It took 7 hours to put it on. And it took an hour and a half to take off, and then you have to work for 20 fucking hours. It was, it was awful. It was really. It had been a SAG film. They got shut down. Really. But we didn't know any better.
Right.
We were making a movie. Woo-hoo! And so. Gunner and I. They told Gunner he could take because his was a mask, but it was extremely complicated the way it was put on. Because you had to lace it up here with leather laces and all this stuff. So they told him he could take it off if a break was going to be more than 15 minutes.
Oh wow. Because that's how long it took.
And it was always more than 15 minutes, and they'd go, we're about done, we're about ready, So he never got to take it off either.
Oh, wow.
So he and I suffered probably more than anybody from the heat, I would think. But, there were people, practically passing out from the heat. The entire crew were just wearing cut-off shorts and snake leggings, which you never lived till you... No, I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you, lad. The first time I met the late great shit. God damn it. Lou Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
The late great Lou Perriman, who was he was my roommate when I was there. He and I remained friends. We did a play together when he started acting at the Beverly Hills Playhouse in Los Angeles, California. And he was, I don't know if you know the story of Lou, but, he was murdered.
I do know. I've read that story, yeah. He was in Texas too, as well, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. He was in Poltergeist. Right. He was the guy who keeps pouring himself a cup of coffee when they're digging the pool. Yeah. Talks to her through the window, Yeah. And he's done a couple of award-winning films, Texas films. Last Night at the Alamo and the whole shit. You need to see these films. They're really well done. Last Night at the Alamo and the whole the whole not the whole 9 yards. So anyway, so I'm sorry, I'm just rambling, man. But I'm a lot of shit
It's
going on
those.
in my head right now.
It's those gummies.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was wondering what was wrong with me. I was
It's
thinking,
them
man, this
gummies,
is a
man.
pretty good
That's funny.
fucking cream soda. I was thinking, where did
So
I buy this
delicious.
cream soda? I gotta get some more of this shit. So, the first time I saw Lou, first thing in the morning, I hadn't even been to sleep. I went directly from the airport to the set because they were already starting to shoot. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd been on an overnight flight from Chicago, and went out there. And he's one of the Paul Partain was the first guy I met. And the first time I saw Lou, he was sitting up dolly track in these really short, cut off Levi's, no shirt, and leather snake leggings that came up to his knee.
That's awesome.
If you could have, oh my God, if you could have seen our set back in those days, so funny, so funny. And then the next person, the first person I actually met, I just saw Lou there, and then there was Paul Partain. God bless him. And he had this white, it was like a 1964 Cadillac DeVille fucking convertible, white, with the fins that were really long and pointed with a couple of bullet-shaped tail lights in it, and they were so. I mean, if you'd been riding a bicycle behind one of these cars, the guy had his brake, you'd be fucking dead, Like, and he wouldn't even know. He'd be driving down the road with me impaled on it, probably with my feet still in the fucking pedals. Oh, sorry. I keep getting carried away. So he's sitting. He's got the trunk open on his Cadillac, and he has about 5 or 6, 7 folding lawn chairs in a semicircle, and he's sitting in his wheelchair, his prop wheelchair, sitting there all by himself, and the rest of the cast is all sitting on. Ooh, God bless. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll get it together.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to touch that a million times.
But so and the rest of the cast and shit were sitting on like equipment crates and shit over there, all talking, and Paul sitting alone in the middle of the semi. This conversation nook he'd set up for everybody, sitting there all alone. And he'd be like, hey, how y'all doing there, partner? What the hell are you doing here? I can't start talking to him. So I'm playing Grandpa. I just got in, I just flew in overnight from Chicago. It was like, hell, get yourself a drink, sit out here with me. And I was over in the trunk. This was such a huge car. You probably could have gotten, if you placed them correctly, like head, foot, head, foot, you probably could have got about 8 bodies in there, And you see how it did that? But a huge, and he had one of those huge, like construction site size coolers back there. It was all filled with glass long neck bottles of Coke, Dr. Pepper, and then long, what they call them, tall boys of Budweiser cans. That's all that was in there.
God.
Oh, wow.
Grab yourself something to drink. And I was like, well, shit, I haven't been in bed yet, so still, what the fuck? 7 in the morning, so I grabbed myself a can of Budweiser, and that was it. We were best friends for life after that.
I bet.
And that was the day they shot, and the first scene I watched them shoot was the one where he wheels into that old house with the crumbly floor on his fucking wheelchair. trying to get through it all. And there's broken glass, and the floorboards are like falling through and everything, you know.
God.
And he's got this fucking sausage in his mouth, which the reason he never he
Oh
No.
This is what happens when you live in Tennessee. You have shoddy internet.
I
I'm just talking shit because my internet goes out all the time.
was gonna say, or watch some parts of Washington.
no! Oh
Oh, maybe he'll come back.
Shit.
Maybe he'll come back. But in the meantime, we can talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, 4, and 3D. Oh, here he goes.
Well, and we're back.
Hey, he's back.
Hey, you're back.
what happened? What
You
happened? What was that?
left us.
We thought you got
Yeah.
tired of us and just left.
Oh God, no! I could do this for a couple of more hours, man. No, so it was, you know, and there's Paul. He was such a marvelous actor, and he improvised like a motherfucker, you know. And he never. When I found out later, the reason nobody was sitting with him, they all hated him
Yeah.
because he never broke character. They thought he was just a whiny, irritating guy, you know. Sally,
Sally,
hey,
I want to go.
yeah, look what he did. Did you see the way? Do you see the way he just cut himself? Man, how you know that whole thing? And they've been locked in that van with him for a week and a half or something in 100-degree heat with, dig this, all the shit that was shot inside that van was done real. It wasn't a soundstage or anything. They were driving down the road. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cast members, and then by the time they pick up the hitchhiker, 6 cast members. The director, camera operator, sound guy.
That's a lot.
So you have a minimum, and maybe something else, because I think that Kim Henkel, who really ran the script kind of thing, he wrote it, you know.
Yeah.
And he really was a screenwriter on it. But, you know, everybody gives Tobe, you know, okay, fine. Okay, Tobe, who cares? You're dead. I don't care. But did I say that out loud? Oh, that's really shitty. I've been getting a lot of shit for that. But don't edit it out.
Well, we're live, so there's no editing.
Yeah. So they'd all been together in that fucking van for over a week. Sometimes with as many as, and they couldn't roll the windows down because of the road noise.
No.
And so, I mean, they suffered. They shoot for 10, 15 minutes, stop, get out, walk around, you know. And so by the time I showed up, they were so sick of fucking him that they wouldn't even sit. And poor guy, he had this, you know, conversation set up, and he's thinking we'd all sit and laugh, really laugh and talk. But he never broke character, so they didn't know that he really wasn't that asshole, you know.
Well, and it's funny that.
But being an old theater dog, once he and I started talking, I quit doing a children's play at the Goodman Theater in Chicago to go down and do that film, and so yeah, he was a theater guy too. He was old, you know, theater dog like me, like I am now. I wasn't old, I was young at the time, but you know, he and I kind of had the same sort of attitude towards acting, you know, I guess. Anyway, we just, I don't know, it just was a natural, you know, we hit it off immediately.
Well, it's funny that you bring him up too, because I know in part 4 you were saying how Sally's the one being pushed on the cart by Pertaining.
She's on the gurney, and Franklin is pushing her.
One of the things I know about the first movie is a lot of the bickering back and forth between the siblings, Sally and Franklin's characters, was actually kind of real because they didn't really like one another, and most of the cast didn't like Paul. Like
that whole that scene, her pushing. Well, the whole scene around the fighting over the flashlight, you know, all that stuff around the van, that turned really real. She
wow.
was sick of him. He was sick of her. And it got really real then. And then later, they shot the fucking scene of her in the dark pushing him through all that fucking mesquite
Yep.
on the would have been the fucking west side of the house. My God. So that whole thing was absolutely real. Her hair gets stuck in the fucking mesquite. Watch it again. I mean, that's all real, all that shit. You know? And she's trying to push him through there, and her hair gets caught. She's like, I'm trying to. You know, he's going, man, push. He was really, that was Paul giving her directions, Marilyn directions on how to do it, except he was doing it as Franklin. You know, that's the kind of actor he was. But he was trying to tell her how to get the fucking thing going, you know? And it works out so beautifully, you know?
Yeah, it does. One of the things I think about the original Texas is the stuff you guys went through filming it, I think really showed on camera, you know what I mean? Like how stressed out everybody was and, you know, how much everyone had been through. I think
well, that
really
you know, you made a really good point. You made a very good point. The final scene, the final scene I shot was the dinner party, which took, I was in makeup for well over 24 hours in the heat. It was terrible. Oh yeah, it was terrible. And it was latex glued down with spirit gum. In sections. It wasn't a mask. It wasn't something you pull over your head.
Right.
It was put in like this, you know.
It was like pieced together.
And every piece of it was glued down with spirit gum, which is horrifying. This really should be it's like a medieval torture liquid or something. I don't know what the fuck.
Medieval torture liquid. You're not supposed to get it in your eyes.
Called. Oh god damn! That's it. I'm gonna start marketing it. Oh, I could sell the shit out of this stuff.
Yes.
At horror cons and shit.
Signed bottles.
Grandpa's medieval horror. but hell, where was I? Come on, Michelle.
Well, so let me ask you this: as an original '74 cast
member, wait a minute.
He remembered.
Do it.
Damn it! The whole gurney thing. Whatever. I don't know.
Well, here I got one for you. As an original cast member from '74, when they handed you the script for The Next Generation, was part of you kind of like, "What in the fuck is this?" Or were you like excited to see
No, I never read the script. They didn't send me one. It's like, I need you to come down. Can you do it for me? It was Kim. I'd do anything for Kim Hankel.
Right.
He says, I'll cover your room, $300 and plane fare. And I said, I'll be there, he's family, really. He was my brother-in-law. He was married to my late sister, Paul.
A lot of people don't know that about that's kind of how you were an actor obviously, but that's kind of how you got the grandpa part was because
that was a connection for sure. Yeah. It's not like some casting director said, I've heard there's this young man in Chicago doing a children's play. And he'd be perfect for a horror movie. That would be fucking cool, though. I'm going to just start saying that. I was a critically acclaimed performance in a critically acclaimed children's play called The Diddle Tales. What would the sequel be called? I wonder.
Well, so when you were after that movie, have you seen the movie? Like, have you kind of tried to follow that storyline or see the difference between 74 and the
Next generation? Honestly, lad, and I've told this a million times, but I've never seen one that I'm not in. So,
but you are in Next Generation.
Yes, but I never saw
But I still
a
haven't seen
theater.
it.
Is he?
All I ever saw was they sent me a VHS of a work print. It still had time code on it and everything, and the sound was all fucked up. And it was in a work print. It was a VHS tape of a work print, and I had to do an ADR thing, right? And so I had, and they sent me it's like a cassette tape or something. Yeah, I had to go I was living in out in bumfuck. I ended up in bumfuck nowhere all the time in Indiana. And there's there's several bumfucks in every fucking state in the Midwest and the South, by the way.
True.
Just wanted to bring that up.
Just in case anybody
And
didn't know.
so anyway, I had to find a recording studio in Indianapolis to do some ADR. So anyway, I know I make a short answer long, but so the only time I saw that film was that. I never saw complete. I sent a picture of Renee Zellweger and myself to her public Facebook page about fucking 9 years ago, saying, "Remember me?" I was only 9.
That's awesome.
And you know what? I got no response. Imagine.
Oh, boo to her.
Renee Zellweger ignored Grandpa.
But, oh yeah,
Boo.
yeah. We spent the
Rude.
afternoon together, man.
Rude.
I might have to put on the pretty woman mask.
I was 40. I was 40, and she was 22.
Oh wow.
That might be why.
Oh God, she's the same age as my wife. Yeah, same time. Yeah.
When you were filming The Next Generation, did you, other than meeting Renee, did you get to meet Matthew McConaughey? And I know you guys didn't do any scenes together.
No,
but...
Matthew was not. Matthew wasn't there that day, but I got to have lunch with Marilyn and Paul.
That's awesome.
And Kim was there, and God, there was I can't think of his name now. Really good cinematographer that day. I don't know if it was the same one they used through the whole thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
I had lunch with him one day, and that was a long time ago, man. It was almost 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
1994, wasn't it?
So.
Well, you brought up being able to see Paul. And go ahead.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Well,
okay.
You talked about being able to film again with Paul and Marilyn, but what about like Texas 3D when they brought in you and Gunner back, and you actually got to work with Bill Moseley, who played Chop Top in part 2. How was that? Like?
It was very. To me, it was just fucking surrealistic. It had been almost 40 years. I think it was 38 years, and at this time, and Carl Mazzacone from Lionsgate was kind enough to schedule us in such a way that we would have a day or two off together.
Oh, cool.
Which was very, it was, he didn't mention it. It just, we noticed that it happened.
Yeah.
So that our 2 days, we each worked a day on the same day, but not the same scenes or anything, except for Gunnar and I had that one scene together. But, and then we had a day off. And then we were there another day, and we had a day off. So we got to spend a lot of time with each other, just eating and drinking and talking, you know, to the point where we'd be out to lunch. We'd go out for a fucking late breakfast, And then we'd have a little something a couple hours later, same table, then start drinking. And then we'd still be sitting there. And the poor waiter or waitress would be sitting there like, God, are they never going to leave? And I'd finally say, because I was the one who had spent so much time in the restaurant business, working my way through my fucking acting habit, that I realized, he wants to go home and this guy wants his fucking table. Come on. And I make sure we all tipped him 800% or some shit, But we got to do that for two separate days. And one night, God, I can't think of his name. You've seen him a million times. He's a Neon Gunner and
Bill Moseley.
Balding? No. He was one of the townspeople, or maybe a cop or something. Was a sheriff? I don't know. But balding, big walrus mustache. You've seen him 100 times.
Oh,
can't think of his name, my pen. And he's no theater guy too, so he and I talk a lot. And so the three of us we had like beers and chicken wings together one night. It was great. And Carl, God love him, made sure that, we got to do that.
Are you talking about Richard Reel, I believe is his last name?
Yes, Richard. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Just had to get on the same page as you.
Did I describe him? Well,
yeah, no, the big walrus mustache. He looks like the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh God, he's done so many things. Yeah, no, he's done so. He's the kind of guy, I know him, but where do I know him from? That kind of actor,
Yeah,
which, all great character actors like me.
Yeah, that guy was in
pretty much
literally everything.
Yeah, I finally reached. Just let me ramble for a second about this because I'm really rambling tonight.
Do it,
and I do it well, don't I?
You do.
But when must have been my second year in theater school. I was doing a play. I don't remember what it was, but we were encouraged. Your first week when this play is done, it was it was open to the public. It was part of the Goodman Theater, the studio theater, where the students put on their plays. But we were always sold out. And John Medici was a guy who was filling in for someone who was on sabbatical, and he was a New York actor and acting coach, and he was a fantastic guy and really smart and all that shit. And I wanted to hear what he thought of something I'd done in this play. And I think it may have been Of Mice and Men. I think it was. And it was, I played Candy, the old guy with one hand missing and an old dog. And it was a marvelous production. We did our own music, and we had a little jug band we did between sets. And, I played in it, almost everybody in the cast was. We had a female fiddle player from the art school that came. And it was probably the most fantastic production I've ever been a part of. So a couple days later, I finally see John Medici walking through the lobby of the theater. I was like, Mr. Medici, hey, John. He turns around and I said, hey, I noticed I saw the play night before. What'd you think? And he stopped. And said, you were wonderful. But Dugan, I got to tell you something. You're a character actor. You will always be a character actor. And a character actor never really makes a living till he's well over 40 years old. And as a 20-year-old actor, I was crushed.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, he was absolutely fucking right. I'm working more now than I have in God knows, forever.
Right.
I managed to get 2 or 3 films in a year the last couple of years. So, I don't know if anybody's seen them, but still I'm working, And then one other thing I want to tell you is we were talking about Clint Eastwood before. Eli Wallach, Tuco, sit down, hey, buddy. Who Eli Wallach came and we talked about, you know what I'm talking about, right? The good, the bad, yeah.
Yeah.
El Bueno, El Malo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't remember that third word in Spanish. Anyway, so so Eli Wallach was talking to my class, and he goes, we were asking him questions, and he was just a fascinating guy. He and his wife were both in town doing a play, and he came over and talked to us, the graduating class or whatever. But he, we were asking him questions, and he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And we went, "Yeah, ask me." He said, "What how do you see yourself here once you're out of the school and become a working actor? What do you think your job is as a working actor?" And everybody was like, "Bring it all, do whatever it takes to get," all these really, all great answers, all of us did. And he waited till all settled down and he went, "No, you're going to find out that your main job as a professional actor is looking for work." And that's the reaction. That right there, your reaction was the exact reaction he got from 125 students there. They were like,
wow.
And he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
And he said, even as famous and even as successful as I am now, at this advanced stage, and he was probably in his late 50s at the time, older dude. Oh, he was an old guy. He's probably younger than I am now. And he and Ann Jackson, his wife, were doing a play together. But he said, even as successful as I am, I'll wrap on a film, think, oh my God, some time off. And a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I'm calling my agent saying, nobody sent me a script or anything. What the hell's going on? He panicked. Just like he was a 20-year-old actor beating the streets in fucking New York. He gets like, yeah. And if I don't get somebody call me, ask me to do something, even if I turn them down, I get kind of pissed off,
Yeah.
If it's been too long,
Oh yeah.
It's I mean, there's a certain amount of vanity involved in being an actor. So, except naked, I'm no good. I'm not good naked. Have we talked about this yet?
Yes, you frightened yourself.
Yes, it was such a lovely story.
You scared yourself.
I will remember
Hey
it for
guys,
most of my days.
are we like getting ready? I'm waiting for you to cut me off, lad. I don't know when we're supposed to stop. We're just going to keep talking.
We don't cut people off here at the Zombie Horde podcast. We have a good time as long as it takes.
I can't. You know what? You're breaking. No, seriously, you just broke up. What?
I said we don't cut nobody off here at our podcast. We have fun until we're done.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. This has been a lot of fun. This has been a whole lot of fun, and it was nice to meet you all. And
it was nice to meet you.
I think we should open up
these hours.
If any of the viewers have any
Hey, he was serenading me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's the story. I was going to tell you a story about the grass.
Yeah.
There it is.
If I don't mention this, I'm going to get yelled at by a good friend of mine. So, Nick Benson, special effects artist extraordinaire, Mick Strawn.
I know Mick.
And I.
He's been on our show.
You know Mick, okay? You know Mick?
I love
Mick,
him.
Michelle, you know Mick?
Mick has been on.
Well,
he's
Mick
been on our show.
I just want to say, because I know Mick is probably watch this. Mick Strawn is the finest production designer who ever lived in the history of production design. Even better than the production designers during Greek theater when
I will tell
when
him
the
that you
actors
said
all wore
that.
masks.
Aww.
He's the greatest, and she has written a book about
I
his
have that
life
book.
as being the fucking best production designer in the world. Anyway, and he wrote it better than any writer who's ever written ever in the history of putting pen to paper. Okay, so anyway, he and I fly out and meet the gang, Nick and some other people in Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Well, 2 days into the trip of our signing autographs and just being so fucking entertaining, people couldn't get it. No, seriously, they could not get enough of us. We were we had crowds around us, Michelle. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh,
So,
I believe it.
I misplaced my glasses, and Mick was wearing a pair of wacky pink ones, like electric pink, you know. I said, I can't find my glasses. He just reached in his fucking ditty bag and goes, "Here, have one of mine," and pulls these out.
Aww, those are from Nick.
And it just went,
that.
and we just went on about our day.
That's awesome.
And they worked for
you. You have not lived until you hung out with us. Oh my God, it's so much fun.
I bet it is.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me this evening.
Absolutely.
It's been a rocking good time, really. Yeah.
John, do you have a web?
You know, sometimes up here on this old ridge, I get a little lonely sometimes.
John, do you have a website or anything where people can go to purchase?
No, I'm just Facebook guy.
All right.
Facebook.
So just find John Dugan on Facebook and buy an autograph.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do so. As a matter of fact, I got recognized today in this old town that I live outside of, and somebody recognized me. I said, "Hey, you know who this guy?" Oh God, because I never get recognized. And it turns out, as a family, there was a little girl. She was so cute. She was dressed up like a princess because she got the princess dress for Christmas, and I was talking to her. And anyway, it turns out her daughter knew who I was, and her son is a huge horror movie fan. So I talked to them for a while, and
that's awesome.
And then I took his name and address down, and I'm going to send him an autograph picture, but I don't know how this came up, but
well, I was trying to find out. I love how people can get a hold of you. Yeah, we got to get you to Seattle Crypticon.
What's that?
We got to get you to Seattle Crypticon. We got to get you to Seattle Crypticon.
Oh yes, I got the last part there. Bring me in.
Yeah, we got to get that handled for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy a Michelob together.
Yeah. Who the fuck said that about me?
That was
Rob. Was it Mick Strawn by any chance?
No, it was Rob Beauchamp.
Oh, it was Rob Beauchamp. Oh.
Yeah. So no, Mick wasn't here with
Rob
us
Beauchamp?
Rob Beauchamp of the Oklahoma area. He's one of our viewers that watches.
Well, if there's movies, that would be Beauchamp.
Beauchamp.
Oh my God, they pronounce it Beauchamp.
Beauchamp.
Well, John, any last words
I'm sorry, I hope it's not watching.
Oh, yeah.
It's an extremely upper class French name. It's a very old French surname, and it was very. Oh my God, sorry.
Oh God.
All right,
John. Any?
I know I'm terrible, aren't I, Michelle? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
You're totally fine.
But you know what? This has been sort of much hanging out with like friends. You know, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been wonderful.
And
We're all friends now.
you know, you catch me at the right time. And you know, Vlad, I said, give me a week's head start, and then give me a reminder on the day of. You know,
Yeah.
so
Do you have
Or-
any?
Because we need those.
Do you have any parting words for our viewers?
well,
Other
well, I
than
say
watch
almost everything.
watch the
No,
Sawyer Massacre, where you do a voiceover, right? You should watch that when it comes out. Did you
What?
Did you do a voice for the Sawyer Massacre, the fan? Texas
Very
Chainsaw
briefly, but we won't talk about it. No, see, because I don't. I did
Massacre?
it.
Nobody say anything.
Yeah, well, I just because since then I've come out really strongly against fan films. So you know,
Okay, gotcha.
but
We won't talk about it.
no, I haven't seen it. I intend to.
Yeah.
I really do because they're really, really nice people, and what I've read about it, it's really well done. You know, so but there's an entire that's a whole other show, but there's this entire underground, no talent industry. It's just pretty much stolen ideas. You know that. Anyway.
We won't get into all that.
No. Like I said, you know that's a whole other show, and really, it's not a bad subject for a whole show because I know lots of people who feel, you know, actors who feel two different ways about it. You know?
Right. Sure.
So, no, this is fascinating. So I'll keep talking. I ain't no hurry. But
parting words. Go. John
parting
Grandpa.
words. Well,
Yeah,
these are my. This is it. This is my sign off to yeah, young people more than anything. Is you know, and young artists, essentially, you know, actors, musicians, whatever, who ask me stuff.
Sure.
Is if I can remember it, God damn it. Okay. It's live fearless. Michelle, I think I got it. I'll just stop now.
Sorry.
It's live fearlessly and love fiercely.
I like it.
I love that.
Do you want to hear?
Beautiful.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear my?
Anytime you want.
I
But
will
that
quote you.
you know, when I got that thinking back on my life a few years ago. You know, what have I done? What have I done that I'm proud of? And those were two things that really stuck out to me in doing this self-evaluation thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe I haven't been successful in either of those things, but I have gone where my heart and soul have told me to go my whole life, and I don't regret a fucking minute of it,
Good.
not a second. You know, you think about, oh God, if I would just bought that stock then or something, you know, but no. And I've never gone anywhere where I'm uncomfortable going.
Right.
So okay, this feels good. I'm going this way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just an old
That's
hippie.
right.
I like it.
Is it obvious? Is it obvious? I swore I wasn't going to cut my hair until Donald Trump lost the election. Then he lost. And my wife is starting to dig my hair. Well, she won't like me saying this, but she's an old rocker chick, you know. She's not that old. She's not as old as me, but
Right.
and so she started digging it. So I thought, okay, so I won't cut it till Trump's out of office.
There you go.
And then then January 6th happened. And Trump was then out of office, so 2 weeks later, I thought, well, I'm not going to cut my hair till Trump's in jail. So
Oh, there you
here
go.
I am.
Here you are.
Here you
love
are.
it.
Going on 3 years last month since I cut my hair, I think.
Oh wow.
Or 3. Yeah, 3.
You're one of the
Great.
fortunate ones with a full
So-
head of hair in your 60s.
I started not cutting it because I didn't want to sit down in a chair close to somebody who could have COVID. It was in the very beginning of the pandemic. You know?
Oh, gotcha.
Listen, guy, I have to go eat another gummy. No, I don't. That was a joke.
John,
But-
it's
ow,
been an absolute
my hair.
pleasure
Ow,
having
ow.
you on, man.
Michelle, will you teach me how to deal with all this hair?
Oh, shoot. You got more hair than I do. Wear it in a ponytail at night.
Huh?
It helps.
She says,
Wear
wear
it
it
in
in
a
a
ponytail at
ponytail.
night.
Huh? What?
What?
My wife has hair almost like mine, except it's longer, dark, curly, and she started wearing a bonnet to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And she
If
goes,
you wear those
and
silk
last
bonnets
night
at
I saw her with this bonnet on. She goes, actually, you should do that. You know how you wake up in the morning, you have to fuck with your hair? She goes,
Yeah.
I have another one. I'm like, no, I'm not putting that goddamn bonnet on.
I won't tell if
You
you
need,
try
you
it
need
out.
to someday meet my wife. She's a fucking trip. She is such a marvelous, funny, just great human being. Well, to put up with me.
Well, we're gonna have to do this all again in person
Trust me,
sometime.
I'm really not the easiest person in the world to live with, and I know
I
that.
can't believe that.
I try, but I try to make it as easy as I can. Okay, that's it. I gotta go in the house.
Thank you again, John. We appreciate
Bye.
you coming on and spending time
Yeah,
with us.
wait a
bud.
There
minute.
you go.
Don't hate me, but wait.
Don't
hate
hate
me
me
because I'm beautiful.
Hate me because I'm a narcissistic asshole.
Awesome. Thank you,
Good
John.
night, you guys.
Yeah,
Have a
Yeah,
good one.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting
coming.
you, John.
dude, how awesome was that? We had
That
John
was-
Good
Dugan,
show. That was a
Grandpa,
good show.
Texas
That was
Chainsaw
great.
Massacre.
Just listening to him just tell
He's got
story
some
after
good
story after
stories,
story
man.
Yeah.
was
You
We
know,
have to
norm-
have like
fantastic.
a part 2.
yeah, normally I try to, like, when we have people on, try to keep it towards like the filming of their movies and the little bit of background stuff. But he was one that you just kind of have to let him go because he's just going to go all over the place. But it's the funnest ride you've ever been on.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
For
he's
sure.
got a very contagious laugh. It's a
Definitely.
good time.
I've known John we've been friends like 3 or 4 years now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, he introduced me through another gal who does conventions on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And when I did the Zompire Horde box and we were doing like the autographs and stuff, he was
Mhm.
one of our signees for the box.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, we've just been kind of Facebook friends and talk,
Aw.
pretty often and stuff. But so it was really cool to have him come on and talk
Yeah.
because everyone knows about my obsession with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
Yes,
and
we
Facebook
do.
user
Yeah.
says that is awesome. So what are we doing next week? I know we got possible plans in the making, but we don't know yet, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like possible plans.
Well, you have 2 possible plans.
I do. But one of them's not till the end of January. And then the other one isn't set yet.
Got it. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna.
It'll just have to be a surprise.
I'm
It's
just gonna-
always a surprise.
I'll set up a poll, and we'll do either horror or true crime, and then everyone can vote on it between now and, like, let's say Wednesday, and then whatever it is, then we'll pick a topic Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Weren't we gonna go with true crime? Wasn't it like true crime's turn?
We had
I
talked
think it
about.
was.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Let's do
Yeah.
true crime then. What are we gonna do?
Okay, we'll figure something out. We'll mind hive for a couple of days and figure it out.
I can dig that. We'll just kind of like play it by ear.
Yes.
By the way, Happy New Year to
Yes.
everyone. Oh, I can't put that
Happy
up
New
right now
Year.
because we're all here.
But that little New Year like flyer thing you made was fantastic. It was
I
so
loved
good.
it.
It was pretty
I loved
gorgeous.
it.
I like how the center picture is like a light behind me just flipping everybody off.
I'm not gonna say. Okay, I totally made that. That's exactly what I was doing. Well, with that, we love you guys. We'll see you next Monday on the Zompire Horde podcast. As always, Patty Von Smithenstein, or I'm sorry, Patty Sawyer, Michelle the Dead.
Get my name right, okay?
And Bubba the Rad.
Bubba the Rad.
Signing off. This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
What's going on?